Oh, yo, it is February 21st. It's Monday. It's the Monday after All-Star weekend.
Yes,
You already
sir.
know, Eve. We're gonna have to break this down. It was, I don't know what you want to call it. It was very interesting, to say the least.
I'll say it like that. Let's use a word like that.
You see what's behind me. You see what's on my chest. You know we're gonna deep dive into a lot of things here because it was,
Kind of funny. 'Cause I'm still wearing Grizzlies too, so we're showing love.
yeah, man. And then we'll talk about some of the NBA stuff that's going on. You know, the different teams have signed some players. What certain teams should be doing down the stretch because we got what, like 25 games left, give or take.
Give or take.
Yeah. So for the people who've never seen this is the Radical Souls podcast. I'm Daniel.
I'm Ethan, and Chris will be with us shortly, but taking a momentarily time off.
Word. Yeah, Chris is the third guy. For the people I've never seen in these episodes, you want go look back. You can see Chris in some of those episodes, or subscribe now and wait until Chris comes here, which should be very soon. Ethan, big announcement from you from the Radical Soul Show. What's good?
Sneaker Con is finally posted. Fort Lauderdale. Finally got to show it off. So many guest stars that we saw over there. Everybody would love it. I would definitely go check it out. Go subscribe. Go like and comment on that video.
Yeah, and the link to that channel will be in the description below. So you can subscribe to this one for the sports and life talks, and you can subscribe to the other one for your sneaker shows that Ethan will be at. See how Ethan handles the different sneaker transactions. With that being said, it's All-Star Weekend.
Let's get right into it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
So we'll start with Friday. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I did not watch Friday. I wanted to watch the celebrity game, but I didn't watch it because I went out. I didn't really care for the rookies and sophomores game. I mean, I know you saw it, so I'll let you take the floor here and talk about it a little bit.
Miles Turner could be a basketball player. Like, he was an absolute beast. He could be a center or power forward.
Nah, yeah, Garrett. I saw the highlights. I was like, oh my god.
That man was a bully, like a literal bully.
He
Like,
did. There was no need for him to be in the celebrity game. Like, in all honesty, like that was OD.
when those gym teachers be like playing with the kids? That's how it looked like.
Bro, yeah, that was probably the highlight of Friday. Because other than that, what happened in the rookie sophomore game?
Nothing much, honestly. I mean, 4 teams, they did a different layout than usual. 2 teams, and then 2 teams, and then whoever wins play against each other. The format was cool. I'm not gonna lie, but now the challenge itself, I didn't really enjoy it as much.
What was the challenge part? I was mad confused about that. Like, they just the challenges that day too.
Not really. It was just a weird setup. Like, it was weird because like that halftime they did a little something, and then like that quarter, once they both won a game, then they did something, and then it was the 2 games. But I didn't find it entertaining. Like, I was just in and out, looking up, doing something, and I don't know. Compared to the All Star game itself, of course, it's not to be compared. Still better than NFL. Don't get me wrong. Still better than
Yeah,
Pro
yeah,
Bowl.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, you wasn't missing anything out.
Do you think they should go back to the rookies and sophomore format? Did you like the U.S. versus world format? Like, what's the plan here?
I like the USA format, in my opinion, the best because they have 2 talent teams that just go head to head rather than 4 teams. I feel like they kind of mixed it up a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like the rookies and sophomore games. It was kind of dope seeing like the sophomores and the rookies. The sophomores used to beat down on the rookies. Well, that was the only bad part. And you know why they did USA versus world? Like, they just wanted to make sure Luca had his platform. So
Yeah, it was a little bit more even too.
they gotta figure something out though, because it's not really all that right now.
They got to bring it back some way, like you said, because rookie sophomore used to be so entertaining.
Yeah, like bro, I remember when Kyrie took Brandon Knight's ankles. I remember Tim Hardaway Jr. and Deion Waiters going at it. Like, that's gone.
Yep, and
You
that's when
had,
they all had different jerseys and everything. Like those,
yeah, you had D Wade, Melo, and LeBron. Like,
like that. Those were the good times watching rookie sophomore.
yeah, and then you had Saturday. Skills challenge, terrible. They need to just dump that. Like some of them was dope, like the like stuff, but it was like it's a lot, bro. Like it's too much.
There was no point of putting a windmill in their way. Like, what was the point of that?
And then it was dumb. Like, oh yeah, you have to beat that time. You don't have to make the shots. Like, I don't know. It was weird, man. I
Yeah,
get it, change it up, but just go back to the old one.
exactly. Like, if you shoot three floaters and you miss all three, then you keep going. Like, what?
Yeah, there should be a penalty on time or something. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know, man. It was a waste. 3-point contest was dope. I was happy to see Karl Anthony Towns win. You know, Adelo Mio. Um,
New Jersey had two. New Jersey native.
yeah, word. I mean, I wanted him to win, but realistically in my head, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. So let me pick somebody else. And he
You
just
have, like, just like you said, you have Trae Young in the 3-point contest, and you had there's a CJ. Like, I thought those two.
CJ, you had Patty Mills, you had Luke Kennard. My pick was Zach LaVine. I thought he was going to come out firing because you know Zach LaVine when he gets hot, he's hot and it's a wrap. But
Yeah,
nope.
he scored a record 29 in the final round. That's insane.
Yeah, man. Like Karl Anthony Towns, he's a great shooter. I knew he was going to put up something. I wasn't expecting him to win though, like because he's a center, bro. Like,
Exactly why.
but we need him to defend his title against like Seth Curry, Steph Curry. Could throw in Buddy Hield. Like they gotta be smarter about this.
Agreed. Some better shooters, if anything.
Put in Ben Simmons. No, don't make that face, bro. You know Ben Simmons gonna be launching at 3 in Brooklyn now. Listen, I won't be surprised if against Philly he goes 3 for 5 from 3 on March
If
10th.
he does that, we got to make a bet. I'm willing to make a bet on March 10th. If he scores more than 2 or 3 pointers, we got to make a bet on that.
All right, I'm down for that.
Because I don't see him doing it.
I'm about to pull up and be like, yo, bro, give me your jersey. I'm gonna go take the threes, and then you sub back in later. I know y'all joke around. I look like him, so it might work out a little bit. They'll be like, yo, what
It
happened
just might just switch your room very quick.
just mad quick, right? Just come off the bench real quick and swap in, catch and shoot, and then sit back down and let him run back down court.
They're going to be like, wait, is that Jamal Murray? When did he go to the Nets?
They'll be like, why he looks so short? They'll be like, nah, it was a TV error.
A TV error? Wow.
It's funny because we're making jokes right now about something because we're trying to avoid talking about the dunk contest because of how bad it was.
Oh, yeah, you said the dunk contest?
My bad, the layup contest,
You said a dunk contest?
bro.
Oh.
I'm wearing my my Obi Toppin City Edition jersey. I felt so bad for Obi, bro, because Obi was bringing out things that have never been done before, and you could tell that he had so much more in his bag. But at the rate that the contest was going, he was like, "There's no point in me even doing this right now because that's going to be a waste if I decide to try to defend my trophy next year."
Nope. The fact that he started out behind his back.
Over somebody.
Yeah, if he would have finished the first try, of course, that would have been crazy. But he really didn't have to do nothing spectacular after that. I mean, Jalen Green tried like 12 times. Cole Anthony was in the woo with Tim's on. And
Juan Toscano Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty okay. Like I can't.
He was good. That little failed attempt of the Vince Carter dunk that he slammed his forearm on the rim.
Yeah, he came out creative, but he just wasn't finishing.
Then you had Obi with the little East Bay behind your head. Then his third dunk was just a regular East Bay.
He just hit the backboard and dunked it.
That fourth dunk was wild. Like I think what ruined that dunk was the fact that he missed it as his third dunk. Because, like I told you, the plan for him, I don't think he had something crazy. He just didn't do it because he's like, yo, at this point, I need to save this for next year because I might need this.
Yeah, exactly. And he has plenty of chances to keep it.
Like, I think if Obi was in a dunk contest with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon that year, that would have been his time to shine. But
that I agree. That I definitely agree.
You know, you had Jalen Green out here being sucked so hard that the kid thought he was just going to come out here and do whatever he wanted. Looking like he didn't even practice anything. He just decided to just come out.
No. I don't know what he was thinking. He threw on the NFT little chain and then it went downhill from there.
Just to take it off and then do a dunk anyways I'm like, what was the point of all that? I get it. Promote the NFT.
Yeah.
Promote Top Shot, but like, do the dunk with it on or something. Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. He just didn't show out. The whole weekend he didn't show out.
and then you had Sunday, man. Sunday was crazy as hell.
That was the peak, as always.
Yeah, even though people complain there's not enough defense, I mean, I think towards the end of quarters they're playing a lot more defense because of charity, so it's kind of dope because they're not going too hard until the last like 3 minutes.
Yep.
You had Steph Curry just go absolutely ape shit that second and third quarters.
Yep.
John
Absolutely.
Morant was out here looking
Making his
like
dunk contest.
bro, and then they asked him about it. He was like, "Yeah, the rim's too low for me to be in a dunk contest."
He was like 10 feet too low. I'm gonna need to raise it higher.
I think my favorite thing was halftime, bro. You had the top 75 team out there. You had my boy Melo out there. Jordan pulled up. Kawhi.
He was at a NASCAR game this morning. Just pulled up.
He went from Daytona 500 to Cleveland. That just shows how much money homie got. He said, "Yo, what's my fastest jet? Let me use that today."
He said, "Let me get dressed. Let me put my suit on. Let me say what's up to LeBron."
I think the dopest thing that went untalked about was the circle being set up the way it was with all the players going onto it, and then Jordan was like the one on top in the middle.
And it had to be done. They had to show that Michael Jordan is still the best, and it shows. It will always show.
I will say, me and my dad had a discussion about that with my sister. I said LeBron is the best statistical player, but Jordan's like the biggest impact player.
In culture. Yep, 100%.
So it was dope to see, man. And then Steph Curry just going absolutely bonkers in that third quarter, pulling up from freaking half quarter, turning around.
The ball was still in the air. Like I don't think it was.
Not like in the air, like, this is the rim and this is the ball. Like the ball was like all the way out here when he turned around.
And it still went in. He was already talking to Trey. He was already down the other side of
It wasn't like he was baking it or like, it would rattle around the rim and fall. Yo, this was straight net.
straight through the net.
The only complaint I have, and granted, this has nothing to do with the actual format. I think the Kobe format is dope. I think it's a nice tribute of the plus 24. But I really, really wish that Steph Curry had another quarter to see if this man will go for 70. Because then at some point, like, they were like, all right, bro, you don't got it no more. Like, let's try to win this because you're missing now. Like, I really do wish they had another quarter just to see if he goes for that 70. Because he has 16 threes. He probably would have gotten to 20.
Yep, 100% agree.
Or like I even said to one of my boys last night, I'm like, yo, change the format to score 48 instead of 24. And, Gigi was number 2, Kobe 24, multiply 48. They were getting 48 almost every quarter anyways.
There was, easily.
And that trophy, yo, I love the All-Star Game trophy, though. Mad dope, man. It was such a good tribute.
So sick.
So what's your overall take, man? What would you grade the All-Star Weekend?
The weekend, I'll give it like 7 out of 10. The All-Star game, I'll give it like 20 out of 10 separate. Like separately, yesterday was just amazing altogether. The halftime, the beginning to end, everything was just entertaining. I would say like I feel weird about certain players because like I feel like they're not giving their all or they really don't want to play in the game. CP3 got hurt prior and he still played like 2 minutes. Like you could have added someone else to the game.
Obi was out here dribbling with his non-dominant hand and making a layup with his non-dominant hand and trying to get an assist. Like, why was James Harden there?
He was just doing nothing. Jimmy Butler, Dom Mitch was out literally the day of.
And I have my theory on that. Homie was definitely hungover. Because to get sick in less than 24 hours, come on, bro. You in Cleveland during All-Star Weekend. I see pictures at the CAA event of everybody drinking and having their fun. Come on, bro. You're not low.
He wasn't with it. He's a lightweight. We understand.
Still wanted to be a Knick, but come on, bro.
We understand. You're a lightweight, Dom. It's okay. It's okay.
We were all in college once. We know how that goes.
Joe Cakes literally after the game, he was like, I don't know what I'm doing out there. Like he literally didn't know how to contribute to the team. Like that was the only thing. But
Point guard.
literally, because like he's not used to. I guess. No, I'm not gonna say used to having point guard because Jamal Murray's nice, but
I mean, he
not
hasn't had Jamal
having
Murray for a year, so technically speaking, he's not used to having a point guard.
True. Like Steph Curry, he's watching Steph Curry pull from threes. He's like, what's going on? What can I do?
Nah, yeah, I feel you. I mean, granted, this year was a weird year because we didn't have KD, we didn't have Paul George, we didn't have Kawhi, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen. Like, I think what bothered me the most about them being in the All-Star game, I'm like, yo, that could have easily been Julius Randle and RJ Barrett had the Knicks been better. If they were the same record as Cleveland, that would have been us.
Despite that, Garland is nice. Not gonna
No,
lie.
I'm not. Look, I'm not. It's not to take anything. It's not to take anything away from Garland and Jared Allen. I think they're amazing players. I still think to this day that trade for James Harden was the worst thing that Brooklyn did because they would have won with Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. And Darius Garland, he's nice. I'm not. It's not to take anything away. I'm just saying if the Knicks had been the fourth seed,
It would have been
that
different.
easily could have been RJ and Randall, and then you would have had. Like I said, you were missing a lot of people that are normally All-Stars.
Definitely. I 100% agree with that because you put Kawhi, KD, even Randall. I like the way Randall plays out there. You put them instead of like Gobert well, on your side it'll be different, but Gobert, Jared Allen is like a weird play. Even Embiid, but I know he pulls from three. He still gets creative with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens next year. Hopefully, everybody's healthy, so it could be a very good All-Star game. Even though I think this game wasn't good. I think it was just wild to see Steph Curry get so hot,
45 points, all threes.
and
It
then the
was
Ja Morant dunks in between all that. Like,
so sick. And he was doing it alley oops like it was nothing. He was doing everything effortlessly. He's so talented.
listen, man, you know how I feel about that, man.
We
You know how I feel about that.
know how everybody feels. We know how Pelicans feel. We know how the Knicks feel. We
I
know
don't. I
everybody
don't
that
care about the
dropped
Pelicans. Pelicans had a chance. You know that I used to get into arguments and champs with customers about Ja Morant being a number one overall pick, and they used to talk to me like I was crazy. And I'd be like, "Watch, that kid is gonna be better than Zion Williamson. I guarantee it. Guarantee." Like,
And
and
what
you're
comes
you're my witness. You're my witness, bro. You could talk about
100%.
it.
Right before the draft, the year before the draft, you already said he's gonna be better than Zion, and you called it.
Bro, I was saying that from the beginning of that college season.
Yep.
I called his triple double in March Madness like 3 weeks before March Madness was even set in stone.
100% confirmed because you used to talk about them heavy compared to the hype on Zion.
And granted, that's not to say I'm mad at having RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett's going to be a very good player. I think it's just a bad situation. You want to talk about that? I mean, we can talk about that right now because we're going to talk about. All right, so we'll transition from here to what teams should be doing in the second half. I mean, half, granted, because there's like 20-something games left.
Yeah, not much left. 12.
Yeah, we're in 12th right now, man. 25 and 34, 3.5 games behind the Hawks. I think that the Knicks just gotta. Well, not the Knicks, granted. I think the front office has to sit down with Tom Thibodeau and be like, "Yo, bro, these are going to be the minutes you're playing each player every game. And if we see anything less or anything way too more, you're out of here. Unless that player is like ridiculously hot, take him out. Because what I saw those last few games before the All-Star break, blowing 20-point lead. Bro, in the last 7 games, the Knicks blew 3 20-plus point leads.
Yep.
And that's not even counting, like, the Thunder game. Was the Thunder game included in that? No, right? Because we weren't up by 20.
No.
We were still up by double digits at one point, but it wasn't 20. We were beating the Jazz by 10. Like, they didn't count those games. And mind you, you remember early in the year I was complaining about this because we kept blowing leads left and right, and it never changed.
But it's because of Tom Thibodeau. Like, I don't feel like it's in team entirely, but that rotation is just you're hurting RJ. He's already hurt. He was playing a ridiculous amount of minutes.
And then you got Randall against the Nets, 1 for 7 in the third quarter with like 3 turnovers. Why is he out there, bro? Like, put in Obi Toppin earlier. And what's crazy is that teams are seeing Tom Thibodeau's rotations and they're pulling the starters faster so they can play against the bench. Because okay, Tibbs is going to leave him in the whole third quarter. And then the beginning, first few minutes of the fourth is when Obi Toppin comes in. Plays 3 minutes and then he gets pulled. Cam Reddish, barely playing. Like, I think it just comes down to the Knicks have to just start. Like, the management has to talk to Tibbs and be like, yo, look, this is how many minutes each player. Like, this is a range of how many minutes for each player. And you got to follow this because they got to just evaluate talent at this point. What's the worst that happens? You put in Obi for 20 minutes, and next thing you know, they end up winning a few games because of him. Same thing with Cam Reddish. Same thing with Quickly. Same thing with Jericho Sims, our center who was in the second round, who looks really talented. Like, I don't mind if we make the play-in. Granted, we have to make the play-in going based off of what I'm saying, where it's give the minutes to the people that deserve it and take risks.
And you see who's in the play-in. Like you have against the Hawks, Hornets, Nets, and Raptors, and those are not easy teams to come by.
Yeah, so I mean, even then, like you never know. If we squeak by them, I mean, I'd rather not. But if we happen to, is it really the worst thing in the world?
No, definitely not the worst thing in the world.
I mean, granted, if we play Miami, we're gonna get smoked. But if we play Chicago, I mean, we gave Chicago some problems early in the season. We beat them once. Philadelphia, we beaten once.
The new Philadelphia or the old Philadelphia?
Yeah, I'm forgetting James Harden out here going to cook us. Let's talk about those teams now. Like you got your Miamis, the Bulls, the 76ers. I think those three teams are just try to keep everybody as healthy as possible.
100%. I mean, Bulls have 4 talented stars, but Levine just came back off injury. Lonzo's still hurt. So you're relying on DeMar and Vooch, but I don't know. The Heat are different. I feel like they still have a young core to get off their bench. They still have Laurie that's like in and out on like he's good one night and then he's like another night.
Miami, ever since they made the finals, they've had that core, and it's scary to think they're just adding onto it with Kyle Lowry because that's somebody that I know the Heat are very tough and they don't like to load manage, but they're load managing Kyle Lowry because they just wanted to make sure that he's healthy by playoffs when they have somebody who's made his deep playoff run so many times in his career. So I think those three teams just try to stay healthy. The Cavs, I mean, that could be a weird team that can make it to like the Eastern Conference Finals if everything falls the way it can with Milwaukee. I mean, if the Bucks stay 5, I doubt it, but the
I
Celtics.
really like. Well, keep going.
No, I was about to say, like, if they play the Celtics, let's say, like, if they could somehow, because they're tied with Philly, if they could somehow get to the third and they play the Celtics, they move on to the second round, I think.
100%.
I think the Celtics are going to get gassed.
I agree. I mean, they traded a couple players, but they should have traded a couple of centers like Robert Williams or Grant Williams for somebody else.
Well, they just signed Robert Williams last year, so if anything, they probably should have traded Grant Williams, like you said.
And get at least a better backup for Tatum or better center.
Yeah, because it's going to be rough, man, depending who they play. What's your take on the Bucks?
The Bucks is it's a weird team. I mean, I always love the Bucks because there is a talented group, but they don't have Brook Lopez that they had before. They have Bobby Portis now.
That was major. That no one's talking about a lot.
Yeah. And people, I mean, slept on him at the beginning of the season, but he's doing pretty decent. But he doesn't have that experience like Brook Lopez. Like Brook Lopez has been basically a vet. They traded Dante
DiVincenzo?
I think they traded him away.
Yeah, he went to the Kings.
He went to the Kings, right? So they traded him away. So they got a couple of new players in the team. I don't know. It's a weird group. Because you can't count out Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton. But I don't know. It's a weird core.
Nah, after you look at the rest of the team, you're like,
Exactly.
So you think they landed in that same category as the Heat, Bulls, and Sixers of just trying to get healthy?
Yeah. At that point, you just try to get healthy for your team.
Then you got the Celtics. Again, we already talked about them a little bit. The Raptors and the Nets. If the playoffs were to start today, not Kyle Lowry, I said Kyle Lowry. That's what I rather. Kyrie Irving would not be able to play in a single game in that play-in tournament because he can't play in Toronto because he's not vaccinated, and he can't play in New York because he's not vaccinated. Even though that's the weirdest vaccine mandate, but we're not gonna talk about that too deep. Um, what happens, bro?
I can't say anything because we have yet to see Ben Simmons out there. But I don't like the Nets. I'm sorry, I just don't like the Nets. I mean, Drummond was a great addition. Don't get me wrong, but without Kyrie in the mix, it's a weird team.
Yeah, like I think Seth Curry is gonna help them a lot for when they don't have Kyrie. They just signed Goran Dragic today.
Yep,
Granted, I mean I'm not crazy about Goran Dragic because this dude has made of glass the last few years.
sadly.
And Patty Mills, I like Patty Mills a lot, but he came here to be a backup. Like
Exactly.
starting him f's your whole bench up.
That Kyrie mix is just if Kyrie is out there, then definitely they should be
They wouldn't be
going
in this position right now if he was out there.
exactly.
James Harden still might be there if he was out there. It's a lot of intangibles in that situation.
Yep, a lot to talk about the Nets, and it's just hard to come by because so many what ifs.
Yeah, you got the what if of KD. Like he's coming off a knee injury. Like what's the plan with him? You got Kyrie who can't play home, and you can't play in certain away games. You got Ben Simmons who. What is it going to be like for him? And now he's going to be under a microscope no matter where he goes because, granted, the Nets are not the Knicks. Like, no one cares about the Nets out here in New York. But he's still going to be under a microscope because you got traded for James Harden. Like, they both forced their ways out of their situation. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. 9 and 10 Hornets Hawks. They're just kind of middling.
Yeah, I mean Hornets just lost like 1-9. They've been losing a ridiculous amount of games.
Yeah.
And they're just so inexperienced. I feel like they have no veterans.
Plumlee, who's been on a lot of trash teams over his career.
That's about it.
Montrezl Harrell now, but
they just don't have that core set yet. They should have traded away PJ Washington, but I guess they didn't have a suitor for him.
what's your take on the Hawks?
I love Trae Young, but he can't do it by himself. I don't like the team at all.
But I blame Nate McMillan because he came in here last year and he kind of took the ball out of Trey's hands a little bit and forced him to really pass a lot. And then this year they reverted back to what John Collins was complaining about. And same thing that got Cam Reddish disgruntled and wanted to trade. Like that whole the ball got to be in Trae Young's hands 24/7 and y'all just gonna stand in your spots and get the ball and either take a shot or pass it back to him. Like it's. You know me, I don't like the Hawks. I never did. I never liked Trae Young. You remember when he was coming out of college? You remember when he was coming out of college? I wasn't crazy about him. I'm like, his IQ isn't as high as people claim. He's a really bad shot taker.
I thought you were just talking about the first round, but okay, yeah, I know you're talking about the college. I'm just saying, I thought you were talking about then, But okay, yeah, college, yes.
Alrighty. Joe Tano, where are we going to your team? We still in the East. The Wizards, I mean, that's been a weird team. Probably
Bills,
the season.
Yeah, they traded away Dinwiddie, and you got Mr. Glassman Porzingis out there, so it's not going to work out.
We talked about the Knicks. What do you want to see from the Knicks?
I want to see everybody else get more minutes than Randall because Randall's out there scoring, averaging 30 a game, but too many minutes on his head. I wish Kemba was out there more. I wish Cam Reddish was out there more.
It's tough, bro, with Kemba. Kemba's knee is done. It's done.
Robinson's been a beast. Other than that, that's it, really.
So just give minutes and see what happens?
At this point in the season, I feel like they should.
You think they should make a play-in push or just try to stay put and develop? Or
I want to say they could make a push because they're only 3 games out. But this rotation is just not good with Tibbs. Like he's gonna get Randall hurt, and then there's a wrap.
Let's hope not. Oh, Pacers, Pistons, Magic. I mean, we know what they're doing here. Just trying to build around a core.
Yeah.
Western Conference. You want to start with your Thunder, or since you got jokes out here, or you want to talk about actual relevant teams that have made the playoffs in the last few years?
Wow, he just shots fired. It's okay. It's okay. We got plenty of draft picks to show off. It's good.
Them draft picks won't do you nothing.
Don't worry, Giddy's number 3 on the rookie list. He's gonna win. Don't worry, because he did beat you guys. He scored a nice.
Listen, I told you to take that bet, and I told you what was gonna happen, and you didn't take the bet.
I didn't think Josh Giddey was like that. I know he was like that. But
I told you what was gonna happen. We would lose to you guys or the Trailblazers because we'd be Golden State. It was only fitting.
Fair enough. I didn't think we were gonna win.
Nah, I don't blame you, bro. I really don't.
This space in the West is kind of crazy.
Nah, yeah, the gaps between every team is wild. Like, you got the Suns, who just lost Chris Paul, 6 to 8 weeks, and then he'll be reevaluated. This isn't 6 to 8 weeks and then he's back. This is 6 to 8 weeks and then check up on what's going on with his fracture. So, what do you do if you're Phoenix?
You got to feed Devin Booker. That's the only way to go to now. Cameron Johnson, I think he's a sophomore now. He's been eating. We got to evaluate him in there. That's about it. I mean, the backup point guard is not the best. I think Aaron Holiday or Alfred Payne, like, they're not the best compared to, of course, Chris Paul. But that means Devin Booker, Aiden just have to take over the whole game.
I mean, let's see, because we remember Cameron Payne last year when he played in the playoffs for Chris Paul. He did very good.
True.
I mean, I know you're not crazy about him because he was on the Thunder, so you've seen him under a microscope a lot more than others. So
it was just dancing for us. That's all he was doing
for. The Golden State Warriors. We saw Steph Curry might be back last night after he was in a slump the last few months. Stay healthy, get Clay back in shape, like fully.
They're gonna get first. I can tell you that now. With Chris Paul out and Clay's getting his minute restrictions off and Curry shooting from full court, they're going to get first.
And you got James Wiseman in the hyperbolic time chamber in the background, just like Goku when he was in the green chain.
You got Draymond that's still hurt. So they're going to push for that first.
Bro, that team is so wild. That's going to be a team we're talking about all season a lot because me and you got to break down a lot of things they could do come this all season.
They can make so many great moves. I mean, not like Curry, Clay, and KD again, but they can still make good moves.
Facts. The Grizzlies, I mean, that's been the surprise team in the West. Not surprised because we kind of saw them in an upward trajectory, but surprised because no one thought they would be in third place. And 4 games ahead of the Jazz right now.
41-19 is a big surprise in my opinion.
All right, we're not going to talk more about it because I might cry if we talk a little bit more about John Morant. The Utah Jazz lost Joe Ingles, brought in Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Which hasn't got really minutes like that. And Don Mitch is just out because apparently he was drunk, according to us. According to our sources.
According to our past experiences.
I feel like he's still not getting along with Gobert, so the chemistry is just not the same as last year. I feel like they're just there. Like, I hate to say it, but I don't think they're gonna make that push in the playoffs.
I mean, right now they'd be playing the Mavericks, who
they don't have Porzingis, but like they have Luka. As long as you have Luka, I mean, we saw what he did last year in the playoffs.
I mean, the only thing I don't like about Luka is listen, this is not me putting anything out there. I love Luka. I don't wish bad upon this man. I don't wish bad upon anybody. This is just me talking about what I've witnessed the last few years. Every year after the All-Star break, he always tweaks his damn ankle and he's out like 12 games. Am I wrong?
I'm not saying anything. I don't wish upon injuries.
I'm not wishing upon injuries. I'm just stating what I've seen. It's like Chris Paul in the playoffs. This man finds a way to miss the playoffs some way, shape, or form every year, and it never fails. Am I wrong about Luka?
I hate to say it, but you're right. I hate to say it.
So if the Mavericks fall and the the Nuggets move up a game and a half to play the Utah Jazz, then I'll be like, yeah, they're gonna they're gonna fall out that first round.
And the thing is, there's already reports that MPJ and Jamal Murray may be coming back sooner than later. So that 6 might jump to 4 or, of course, 5. But they might make a push for a higher seed.
Yeah, I think the Nuggets are going to be a good team down the stretch. I just think they've been dealing with a lot of different injuries, trying to like piece things together. It's been interesting for them considering that they're 6th in the West right now.
Agreed.
Timberwolves, what's your take on that?
Big shocker, too. I mean, from last almost every year to now 7th in the play-in. I mean, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Lo's healthy now. I really like the team personally.
I like them too. I just think they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. I think this is the first year that we've seen them all healthy for the most part. D'Lo, I know, missed a lot of games at one point, but for the most part, this has just been the healthiest they've been. And they're in 7th. They'd have to play the Clippers, and I don't see Paul George and Kawhi coming back. So, great chance to make the playoffs.
PG, maybe in a couple weeks, PG, but Kawhi.
I think it depends on matchup, honestly.
True.
Because if they're like, let's say they fall to 9 and they got to play the Lakers at 10 and Golden State's in first, is it really worth risking these guys rushing back if you beat the Lakers? Now you got to play the Warriors?
No, definitely not. Because you got a core now that is good right now. Like, you don't want to lose Robert Covington and Gary Trent Jr. right now because they're a beast. Was it Gary Trent or
no? It was Norman Powell. I know you confused it because the trade from last year. Like,
yeah, no, never mind. So Powell just got hurt. Yeah, they gotta just drop. Like, don't fight it. Don't fight it versus the Suns or the Warriors.
Then you got the Lakers in 9th. Ethan, what do the Lakers do? There are reports that there is some very bad blood between Rob Pelinka and Clutch Sports right now.
I feel so bad for the entire team because Russ just messed everything up single-handedly. Like you said, Clutch is just unhappy with everybody, like the Lakers organization, what they're doing.
Clutch is mad, but they was the one that put this together. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all because they have a lot of agents in the NBA, of course. But no, that whole team right now is a disaster.
Anthony Davis just got hurt again.
And LeBron is the only one on the team at this point. And Malik Monk.
Yeah, Westbrook is just he looks shot, bro, like mentally.
Agreed.
It sucks because like Westbrook has always been that dude that you're like, this dude cannot get broken in any way, shape, or form. He just looks broken this year, like
he doesn't want to be out there at this point.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Lakers, man. Down the stretch in the future, you got LeBron talking about, I'm gonna go play with Bronny, and then I'm looking at the Lakers core like, so y'all had Kuzma, Lonzo, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, Brandon Ingram, and y'all got rid of all of that for LeBron, who said, I'm gonna go play with Bronny. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Literally.
For a bubble chip.
Or a bubble chip. That has aspects in it.
Listen, people talk about the Knicks. At least we got a core. That's all I'm gonna say. Because talk to me about the Lakers in 2 years when LeBron leaves in 2024.
And AD and Russ want to leave.
And AD got that crazy contract. He ain't going nowhere.
It's okay. We got draft picks for the Lakers.
Then you got Portland in 10th.
They lost CJ. Dame is not there. Dame doesn't want to be there.
We don't know that. Apparently, Dame is still saying, I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to be there. So, you think it's BS?
I think it's BS. I think deep down inside, he wants to go somewhere to win a chip. He just doesn't want to admit it.
I think they're gonna move on from him. They're trying to build. Like, that's your best asset. Just move him all you can, because the last thing they want is this dude tearing. Like, again, not wishing injury on people. It's just me talking about the realistic
aspect
of it. If this dude tears his ACL next year and they didn't trade him, That's it. It's over. Like,
Agreed.
you're missing out on so many possible assets that you can get from this guy.
Agreed.
The Spurs are 2 games behind the Trailblazers. The Pelicans are tied with the Spurs. The Pelicans, I mean, they're just kind of waiting for Zion. And you got that report that Zion might need another surgery on his foot.
So he might never come back.
Do you see him being a Joel Embiid, or do you think it might be worse than Joel Embiid, where he has to keep
I,
getting surgeries and rest up?
I feel like it's worse. I feel like it's way worse because this is only what his second year, third year,
Third.
third year.
And he's only played the equivalent of one season of games because he's only played 82 games so far.
Yep. So it's not looking pretty at all.
And I took off the share screen because the rest of the teams are like the Kings,
The
who
Rockets and
ever since they traded for Sabonis, he had that one good game and they just started losing. And the Thunder, we know what they're doing.
we got draft picks for days. That's all we know.
Basketball starts at the end of the week, so by the time we record again, we'll probably see the first few games.
Yep.
And March Madness is around the corner. So for the people that want to go from big pong to ping pong, there it is.
Get those brackets ready.
Nah, yeah, we're definitely doing a bracket again this year. I don't like how one of my decisions kind of screwed me over, and I could have OD whooped up on you harder than I did.
I remember.
Yeah, E, with that being said, bro, I'll see you then. Peace.